Well then, it's time.
We'll get to we're gonna speak about Tua a little more, but we gotta talk about the Pro Bowl, which I'm glad they're going back to more skills stuff and whatever. They I don't know why they hadn't got rid of that. I remember growing up and just watching the skills challenge. Like, that was fun.
That's the fun part of it.
That's the fun part. The game
part that they really need.
But speaking of the Pro Bowl, Tua led all players in fan voting. The quarterback was left off the Pro Bowl roster. So how do you feel about that? Just that quote, but also like who should be playing in the Pro Bowl and how should it be voted on?
How many quarterbacks make the Pro Bowl? 3? For each side?
I think it's 2. Let me look. I'm sure he's an alternate, by the way. I didn't Google check that.
I mean, here's the thing. Do you think Tua should be a Pro Bowler over Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Justin Herbert? The fans did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, but I just have a hard time. Like, yeah, Mahomes and Allen, their stats are probably down a little bit.
It's 3 in Burrow.
Interceptions are up a little bit, and Joe Burrow. Yeah,
there's 3
so
quarterbacks. No,
like here's the thing though with the Pro Bowl from the other side of things is when a guy like Tua has a year like he's had, because the Pro Bowl being what it is, like no, he won't be all pro or all Madden or whatever, but he probably deserves a Pro Bowl spot in a year like this over, like, let's say Josh Allen.
Because
when you look at
done something.
Because of what he's done for his team.
Right.
But, I mean, I don't know how you make an argument.
Is he your first alternate?
I mean, if he's fit.
Not. To be fair, we'll get to his injury stuff. But, like, I mean.
You look at Herbert's numbers and what he just got his team into the playoffs for the first time.
Let's be real. Mahomes, Allen, or Burrow, they're going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So there will be an alternate.
Mm-hmm.
One of them will probably just not want to go because...
Well, they'll be in...
Well, actually, it's skills now, so it's a little different. So,
yeah.
But whoever is for it is the alternate's going.
Right.
And they'll get their little Pro Bowl. But I just thought it was interesting. Players fan voting. I don't think fan voting is relevant.
Who made it then? Is that the 3?
Yeah, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow.
So, like, Herbert didn't make it. And, I mean, I just don't.
Do you agree with those 3?
I mean, you can't... How you want to disagree?
I'm just
take any of those guys off their team and plug them into Miami. I'll take my chances.
Yeah, right.
And plug Herbert into Miami. I'll take my chances.
Take my chances. Yeah.
I feel like that's just San Diego East.
Yeah, I don't think
if you plug them, like.
Right, I agree.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Gronk tweeting, "I'm kind of bored."
Oh, Gronk's bored, wants to wear number 69 and get announced as eligible every play, making the refs say his number.
Try to go on a run with
just
a ring.
Gronk being Gronk.
Yeah.
But he gets.
He'll be fun. He'll sit there.
I feel like we'll hear from Gronk every year that Brady's still playing around playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just for funsies.
So Donald's hurt a little bit. Is this the end of Aaron Donald? Does he retire? I mean, there was talks that he wanted to retire last year, came back. McVay. I mean, there's a lot of the Rams are tired and old, right? Shutting him down the rest of the season doesn't bother me because they're not in anything. But
well, I mean, once they shut him down, they had their best game of the year, hung 51,
and their defense looked great.
Stop.
Now, let's back up.
They played the Broncos. Get out of here. Oh, we're done with that conversation.
Oh, the
Next.
Russells.
Next.
I found that interesting.
Defense looked great. God, get out of here. That team couldn't score 14 points against
I don't have the video on this.
Falcons defense.
But this is one that, and this is just for my Falcons fans out there, by the way. So, and you probably didn't see it, and I tried to find a clip, but for some reason, scrubbed. It wasn't scrubbed. I just didn't dig that hard. Ritter's rolling out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's going to throw the ball away. And he throws it, but gets hit. So the ball comes out like a weird duck, goes basically 90 degrees, doesn't get past the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
They called roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer.
Intentional grounding.
Okay.
Intentional grounding, right? He got hit like a quarterback throwing the ball away, he's going to throw a spiral or somewhat of a weird duck. This was like a
ball just.
This was
flew
a
out of his
duck.
hand. Right.
And they called that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ref then said that he didn't feel like there was physical contact that caused the issue.
Oh,
Right. And so obviously this guy then tweeted the more important part. Intentional grounding should not be called if the passer is out of the pocket, which he was, is passing motion, which he was, and is significantly affected by the physical contact that causes the ball to land short of the line of scrimmage.
right.
Okay.
But that's what the ref was arguing.
And that's what the ref was arguing. So
That's
at
fair.
least he knew the rule. I was okay with his
Right.
understanding of it. But if I could show you guys it was not.
This wasn't something that was up for argument.
No.
Right.
No quarterback when rolling out and throwing the ball should ever have a duck come out like that.
Right.
Except for Tua in preseason.
That's fair.
That's what it looked like. But we're going to keep on the Falcons train.
Okay.
Because it's hilarious and sad at the same time. Ritter threw for 218. No picks, by the way.
218.
Yeah. Was
Wow.
the second highest mark of the season.
Hey.
He's played
Yikes.
2 games and has the second highest mark this season. 218. That's crazy. I wanted to look at this one because I know we talked about it, but I think we have in here and I had posted about 1-score games, right? So this one's from the PFF.
Yeah.
Vikings 1-score games are 11-0.
11-0. Unheard of in the NFL.
They've played 16 games.
Yeah.
11-0.
Mind you, NFL historically, 1-score games are basically a coin flip.
Correct.
So
They
theoretically speaking, like a good season, like 8-3 would be phenomenal. If you could go that in 1-score.
If we
games.
give them 3 more losses,
yeah, and we're talking about a whole different.
we're a whole different.
Absolutely.
And we'll
So,
get to that.
yeah.
But that's why I threw that one up there.
Absolutely.
A little love for Drake, though. The top 5 FCS edge defensive grades for the PFF. Finn Claypool with a 92.1 from the Drake University
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. Okay. Second place is 90.4. I'm just saying he's also a freshman.
I mean, grading out at 92 in anything is unreal. So,
In literally anything.
Yeah.
Math tests, anything.
yeah, that's
Pretty good.
kudos.
Yeah, pretty good. This one's just more along with what Diggs does. So I just wanted to reiterate
Jumped it. Yep.
that this happens
Tried to take advantage of a young quarterback.
at least every time there's a young quarterback. We're not going to watch it. Oh, there it goes. Oh. There you go.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, if that surprises you at
should
this point from Diggs, then
this, what you posted, glorious. So I'll let you do this thing.
so this is Cowboys Eagles, Devontae Smith. I believe this was after his second touchdown, or maybe this was the first one. But he starts by putting on the ski mask,
Yep, here we
as
go.
you're going to see here. Ski
Ski
mask on, kicks open the door, and now we're stealing children's presents with the help of fellow receiver out of the Salvation Army bucket, of which is very popular and known for Dallas Cowboys touchdown celebrations over the last 2 years. Zeke specifically, but also the tight end group. And then Dak helped out a little bit as well. I don't know if this will be a fine or not because they technically didn't touch the prop.
Correct.
And so
And they didn't use a football. They
didn't do anything. Like if there was nothing here other than him just doing that, they wouldn't be fined. So I don't know if because they robbed Salvation Army that we'll get a fine out of just
it was
bad
glorious.
taste.
It was glorious. I enjoyed that.
I mean,
It was smart.
the creativity is there,
Yeah.
but I just I feel like we just didn't read the room there.
No, I mean, yeah, absolutely didn't read the room, but I enjoyed it.
But like
I enjoyed it.
I don't know. I mean, probably because it was Dallas, I didn't like it as much as I maybe should have. But yeah,
It was good. All right.
I'm going for distasteful.
So distasteful
Distasteful.
quarterbacks. There's a whole rumor out there of Mac Jones being dirty.
The Grayson Allen of the NFL.
Hmm. this play is illegal and did not get called.
Yeah. I mean, he lays down in front of
He
a
takes
guy
out.
who's not really doing anything. I don't know
First
why.
of all, what would you do? Why? What?
Why is 20 still running?
Just go celebrate.
Right. But then, like, why is Mac Jones, like, so he gave, like, I didn't read it because
What are you
I
gonna
don't
block?
care
What do
what
you?
he's,
What? I mean,
I don't care what he's going to say. Like, he gave an explanation when asked about it.
what he thought that guy was gonna go.
No,
block
I
his
don't.
guy?
I don't know what it was. Like if he was just like to a point where he was just falling over, but like,
No.
yeah, like
To me, that's dirty. I don't like it.
yeah, no.
He could have stuck his
disagree.
knee in his helmet and concussed him. I
But
don't
like
really
he's
give a shit.
kicked guys in the balls this year with his
It's-
slides. He's
right.
you
Like-
know had some.
There's nothing here from a football perspective that he needs to do. He's not catching him, so just give
Just
up.
stop. And not to mention, like by throwing yourself on the ground, you're just
You could hurt yourself.
you are, and like you're trying not to get. He's also trying not to get hit. Like
Yeah. But so
like,
just
in general, like
so don't get
mindset
hit.
should be don't get hit. So like right here, turn,
you mean like
go back to the sideline.
you mean like the rest of these guys?
Like those
They're,
guys.
they're not
Yep.
involved. Yeah. I just I don't
Instead,
like it.
Mac Jones
It's also
just
the Patriots,
lays
so-
down at somebody's knees. So
this is just more to the Gronk part.
yeah, just what we talked about there.
Yep. I just love that.
Oh, Gronk.
This was a good one by you. This was a good one. When your wife says there's still one more 65-step instruction toy to put together.
Yeah, the old.
Some choice words.
Yes.
Some choice.
No, so one specifically.
Yep. Yep. Specifically. What is this? What do we got?
Christmas spirit there.
Ooh, a little Brock love, huh? And my Facebook is blown up with
ton
it.
of-
I'm actually
Ton of it out there.
getting sick of it.
It is, but he's been so damn good, you can't even deny it. List of every QB since 1950 to throw for multiple touchdowns with a 100-plus passer rating in each of his first 3 career starts. Dan Marino, Brock Purdy.
That's
Pretty good company.
that's
Pretty rare air.
yeah.
And then there's a picture circulating out there at a 3 months or less age. Brock Purdy's dad is holding him up to look at a picture of Dan Marino.
That's pretty.
And the picture
God, I
is,
love the
you know,
internet
something
to
like,
find that.
you know, go back and tell your kid that at this point you will hold a record with only Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Not that you're holding a record that Dan Marino has, but simply that you are the only 2 who have the
Have you ever
record.
done it? Yeah, it's pretty dope.
So yeah, just kind of one of those things.
This one just goes to just talk about how tough Kirk Cousins is. This stat is kind of when you sent it and I read it like twice, I just couldn't believe this. But Kirk Cousins has been hit 125 times this year through 15 games.
Yeah.
Not once in any season since 2000, which is as far back as whatever this person stat, whatever took care of this, has a quarterback been hit more through 15 games. This guy's an absolute warrior.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hits.
No, yeah. I mean, this goes back to like
A lot of hits.
comparable to like when David Carr came out as the Texans quarterback and got sacked like 50 times in the season or whatever the heck it was. Peyton Manning, like in his rookie season, like we're talking about epically bad offensive line protection from letting the defense hit your quarterback for a team that's still in the running for the 1 seed in the NFC.
So the whole fraud thing, this is
Yeah.
another stat to go towards that.
I mean, it is, but I mean, if you've got a quarterback who's willing to stand in there and you've been that successful in 1-score games, like to me, that actually tips the scales towards like he's the only thing that might not be fraudulent.
Correct. I agree.
So,
But regression
while
to the mean?
team that leads into the team fraudulence, I believe that Cousins probably hasn't got enough credit for what he's done for this team this year.
That's fair.
Because guys really like to poop on that dude.
They do.
And not, he makes it easy, don't get me wrong.
They do.
But yeah.
Okay. We get into Tua. Okay. I was basically texting you about their like last 4 drives, which went like field goal or fumble, field goal,
Right.
Pick.
So this is in the second quarter, though.
Yeah, this is before that situation, which come to find out. Just watch Tua, and let's just watch his head. Boink. Don't worry, we get it zoomed in.
Which
they don't show the after, which sucks, but
like to me, it didn't even really look like his head hit the ground there.
It didn't. However, statistically, and I don't know if they have it in this tweet, but from this, he went like 3 picks and completion percentage of 25, right?
But you also didn't have like necessarily anything very visible real time. Like he got up right away, didn't waver off the field, didn't lay there.
Right. My thing is the fact though that his other injuries this season.
No, I don't disagree. But at that point, then they need to have a required spotter on Tua, and anytime you have any apparent whiplash,
just go check him out.
He just needs to go in.
Go check him out. What does it hurt?
So let's say here's the issue that I would present as from a fan and team perspective is, let's say he throws that pass and that running back runs for a touchdown. Or runs for a first down, even more so than a touchdown. The touchdown wouldn't really be as relevant, but
because they have time.
Because he wouldn't have to still be on the field.
Right.
So you're now forcibly removing a player from the field when you didn't have visual evidence.
I mean, this is first down, so this is this scenario.
Right. So like, should he have come out on second down? Mid drive, you're up 20-10. Let's say this is fourth quarter. 2-minute drive, first down. This play happens on first down, and you're going to just pull him because you think he might. Now, we've definitely argued the safety side of things. That's where it becomes so difficult, though, is because this play doesn't look to me like he hits his head on the ground.
Right, same.
But we've seen other really obvious situations get completely overlooked, so this one didn't surprise me from that perspective. Now, this is being pointed out as where they think he might have gotten. And the stats are pointing towards this being.
And he's in concussion protocol.
But also,
now.
I mean, we're 2 minutes from halftime. If Tua is feeling that, knowing his past history, man, some of the onus is on him.
Correct.
Because nothing happened between now and halftime. Not to say that it couldn't have, but it didn't.
Right.
And so if that is the case, and this is what happened, then I've got to put some blame back on the player himself, knowing his own situation. And I know that's hard, but if he had a headache, if his neck wasn't feeling right, whatever it was, knowing what you've gone through this year, you have to be able to say, listen, check me out. If I'm good, I'm good. But because I just don't think that play was obvious enough. And he didn't like I said, he didn't play on the field or lay on the field. He didn't shake anything off.
Right.
He didn't stumble getting up. Like it was boom, back in the huddle. Everything was normal.
To me, it's not like go check him out immediately. That's one of those ones, like, again, situationally, it's 2 minutes till halftime. Halftime, hey, that looked a little different. Why don't we just test this out real quick? It's halftime.
Yeah.
This is clearly time to do that. Let's just figure it out real quick and see if you're all right.
Right.
Clearly he was not statistically, and clearly now he's in concussion protocol.
Right.
Now, is that because of this? I don't know. But he's now currently in concussion protocol.
Right.
Now, let's assume, terrible thing to do, that he is now concussed.
Done.
Got to be done for the year.
Done for
at
the
a
year.
minimum, right?
At the minimum. Absolutely.
You have to be. Because that'd be his
third.
Technical third, who really knows, but at least his third. Yeah, you got to shut him down.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing is, whether or not we want to agree or disagree on what we're seeing, the person who tweeted this saw this, recorded it, and said, hey, so if a fan or a person, I don't know who this Michael Williams is in general, but if they're seeing it, then that means whoever's at the NFL level reviewing, whether it be the medical staff, the team, whoever's in charge of that, should also be seeing that. And that's gone back to our points over Tua's previous injuries and other concussion injuries where players aren't getting blown dead, is that in a league that makes as much money as they do, to not have, they have an all-22 view, to not have those plays whistle dead and those people removed from the field, that's the criminality in it all, is that viewers at home are seeing this stuff. So therefore, like, this is not something that's like off to the sideline, you couldn't see it on camera type of thing. People at home are seeing all of these things. So that's the issue, and that's what has to be fixed. Is there has to be more accountability from the NFL in whatever premise that is, on making sure that, hey, we just had, and I don't care if if you got to have 22 dudes that are assigned to, like,
each player on the
every
field.
Every player on the field, did your guy get hit in the head in a way that he needs to be checked out or possibly checked out? And fine, for every game, you have the money, you have the resources.
Yeah,
if safety, now again, 22 is excessive. Don't get me wrong, but even a guy on each side of the ball,
right? And
right now, they don't even seem to have that. So
I don't even know if they have one at a game.
Right.
Bummer over here for the Bengals. Well, Collins tore his ACL and his MCL after initial tests say ACL. So again, on-field exams don't mean much.
Nope.
But that's tough.
Yeah, especially for
that's gonna be tough for the Bengals.
Bengals struggled up front to start the year and had really started to come together. Hottest team in the league right now, or one of the hottest teams in the league right now. So to get through the AFC, losing your right tackle, a little more replaceable than your left tackle, don't get me wrong, but definitely an uphill battle, especially from that positional perspective.
Especially going into Monday Night Football against the Bills.
Yep.
Like, that's going to weigh a little bit for this game specifically.
Yeah.
Gotta love our Broncos, everybody. Broncos getting into it. Just your starting O-line against your backup quarterback. I really wish there was a mic, and I hope
there was.
Comes out.
There is.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
No, really?
On what was said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I missed walk you through?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
here I'll start.
Go back to the beginning. So this is Jeff Driscoll, the backup quarterback for the Denver Broncos.
Now it's Ripien.
Jeff Ripien?
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter. Backup
quarterback for the Broncos, excuse me. Ripien. Telling the offensive line to help Russ off the ground when he gets hit. And the offensive lineman basically being over Russ's play for the year. I think soon after this, Ripien actually goes in the game. Don't know if they did a couple of oblate blocks or there. But basically, after that, dude pushes him, says, come at me, Jeff, basically is what he says. And then you see him fall down. And, like, as the backup quarterback, I don't mind the leadership perspective of that, but your quarterback is a captain, is a 15-plus year NFL veteran at this point, somewhere in there, probably 12 to 15, however long Russ has been in the league. If his linemen are not picking him up at this point, that's on him.
Yeah.
That's on him. And while I appreciate the dude, his leadership in being willing to speak up to that, but know your spot.
Read the room, bud.
Read the room. 100%.
Read the room.
So that's what that was all about.
I didn't know that.
Nathaniel Hackett obviously got fired after this game as well because of things just like this.
This is why.
Yeah.
I 2 games remaining in your rookie season as coach.
Yeah, you can't have this going on in your sideline.
This is what's going on.
Along with everything else.
You lost the locker room.
Means that your team quit. You just gave up 51 to a Rams team who couldn't score
15 in 3 games.
Yeah, combined. So, yeah, that's what that whole dispute was, though.
So, the offseason for the Broncos will be interesting.
Yeah, going to be a lot of changes there.
Because the dude is Russ isn't good at football right now. So this one you sent.
Yeah. This is, there's a theme around the NFL in general. There's been a ton of close games this year. We know how competitive the NFL has been and continues to be from a playoff race perspective, a one-score game perspective. This is the Giants, happen to be the butt of this terrible stat. The scores in these games are 2 tied ball games and 1 in which the Giants were leading. These are field goals of 61 to 63 yards.
Here's 61, 63, and
61. As time expires, I don't know what the percentages on the year are for field goals over 60 yards. You don't get a ton of opportunities to them.
Definitely not 3 for 3.
Teams are 100%
against the Giants
in game-winning field goals of 60-plus yards this year against the Giants. That would be indoors and I believe 2 outdoor kicks.
Yes.
Being in Philadelphia and in Carolina. So tough. I mean, just tough. Like,
how the hell do you not
this
block
shows,
them, by the way?
you know, the Vikings are 11-0. Again, they are one of these teams that is going to kick one of the 60-yarders in order to win the game. And again, are you guaranteed to win 2 out of 3 of those? No, because, you know, you would just be going to overtime. However, the fact that all 3 of these kicks are made, now you're 3-0 in games decided by a 60-yard field goal.
Here's my issue. They didn't learn. Okay, I don't know the order of which these were played.
Yeah.
But what they didn't do is they didn't learn. I'm going to, and I can't tell. I don't know if they had a returner back here or not, but they're in return mode on all of these.
Well, they lost this game was this week.
Okay, yeah.
Against.
So they're in return mode. And what I mean by that is look how many guys are up standing.
Right.
Because they think it's going to be short so they can return it for
That's fine.
How school. That's fine, but you didn't learn. Go block. 61-yard field goals have to have a lower trajectory. I'd rather go block the damn thing, especially if it's happened to me twice already.
I don't disagree, but here's my other side of it. The fact that they're in return mode says that the chance of that kick being short versus going in is at worst 50-50, or you wouldn't be in return mode.
Maybe, unless they're
And
just
then
idiots.
Also, if you run into and or rough the kicker, it's now a much more makeable field goal in the chance that you thought he would miss being a 50-50 proposition as a 60-yard field goal.
I don't want to lose on a 60-yard field goal. I'm going to go block that thing.
Okay, that's
go block.
I mean, I can't disagree with it. I'm just saying, as a 60-yard field goal,
you could still have a guy. By the way, you could still have a guy back there, go block it, and still have a return on. Those are big fat guys out there.
Right.
Like, it's not.
And kickers and holders.
And holders. Like, there's not very many. The tight ends are the most athletic people on that field.
Yeah.
For the offense.
No, I get it.
I could not imagine losing 3 that way.
Yeah.
But I get your argument. It really makes sense.
Yeah.
Really makes sense. Let me just talk about it a little bit. Packard gets canned to a concussion. That we already talked about that one. Ooh, I did like this one. So,
can you turn the sound on for this?
I'm sure I can. I'm sure we'll get in trouble.
There's nobody talking. If you want to feel and hear a hit,
this is it.
More here in this first half.
This is what.
Here's another one. Watch out. More here in this first half. Here's another one. Watch out.
Woo!
More here in this first half.
Here's one of the loudest hits I've heard in a long time while watching a game.
So, he gets ejected.
Mm-hmm. Concusses himself and the offensive player. In the name of player safety, everything that was done was correct. I don't think that it was a dirty hit, though.
No.
But he leads with the crown, and by that, he doesn't know where the receiver's going to end up. But he's running right through him. Crown actually hits the shoulder pad first when you watch him, in slow. Like I've seen this in slow mo, but you just can't run through that high. And he's not attempting to wrap at all.
No,
and if he attempts to wrap, then he can't lead with the crown.
This is old school hit.
Oh yeah. This is Ronnie Lott.
This is awesome.
And Derwin James has a reputation. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons for the ejection. I don't know if they put him in concussion protocol as well, but I don't know whatever came from that.
Receiver got concussed. I don't think Derwin actually ended up with a concussion.
That receiver might have gotten concussed. He might have just broken his collarbone or shoulder or
Right. There's a lot.
He got wrecked.
All I'm saying is when I originally saw it, I did not see a penalty. Technically, he led with the crown, and I get the whole rule behind it, but
the penalty is
just
blindside defensive receiver. Anything above the numbers, you got to call it for player safety.
And I get that.
And that's, again, I love seeing the hit.
I just don't think it was.
But I don't think
it wasn't intentionally trying to hurt him. I don't think that was it.
I'll disagree.
Well, every hit is I'm trying to intentionally hurt somebody,
and that's why I make that right.
I am trying to knock you out.
This isn't like we watched what Mac Jones did.
Yes,
unnecessary.
Correct.
Laying down on a play that this dude just was super athletic, ran really fast, Correct. And then wanted to lay the hit on this dude.
Just went high
instead of just wrapping him up.
Well, he could have went. Down. He could have done the same thing, but went ribs.
Right. And then that would have been fine.
Yeah, and the guy would have had broken ribs.
You're also talking about a 5'10" receiver. So
yeah,
Derwin James is a 6'3", 6'4". So player size definitely matters as well.
Although his ribs would have hurt so bad.
Yep.
Oh my Lord.
And again, the noise, the soundtrack of that is NFL films worthy.
You threw up this one. Travis Kelce leads all receivers and tight ends in yards after catch as a 33-year-old tight end. Yeah. It's just, dude's a freak. Mainly because they don't freaking cover him.
Well, and here's the thing: is who else are the Chiefs going to throw to? They have Schuster, and they spread the ball well, and so that's. And their scheme is what allows for the yards after catch that Kelce gets, and his very unorthodox receiving / running style, old swivel hips. Because he's not fast. Oh, he is physical,
right? But
he's also a little bit more prone to fumble down the field fighting for yards. But that's also why he leads the league in yak. But at 33,
also some people there was multiple games they just don't cover him.
No, so don't disagree.
But yeah, no.
But very rarely is he catching and not having a couple of people miss in his big yard plays.
The crazier thing is it's receivers.
Mm-hmm.
That's
including Justin Jefferson, who may well break the receiving record.
He should
this year.
They got to play all 18, so he should.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. NFL. 1 possession games if the opposite results have occurred.
Right.
All right. Updated through Christmas, basically.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to look at these and just look at the team's difference. Really, the Vikings would be 1-14.
1-14.
1-14. Look at that.
They've had one game all year that hasn't been decided by a score.
No. That's not how that works. They'd be 1-14. They're 11-0. There'd be 4 games. They're 1-3 in the other games.
Yeah.
So yes, but regardless, kind of crazy in the NFC side. Niners would be your 1 seed. Bears, close. Your 2 seed. Falcons, 3 seed. Even Eagles would be 8-7.
Yeah.
Your Seahawks would be 10-5, which that's fine. Lions 9-6. Cowboys 8-7. So crazy change up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how close the NFL is.
Mm-hmm. Razor thin.
So we go to the AFC side. We got Browns would be the 1 seed at 10-5. The Browns,
right,
at 10-5. Jags 10-5. Raiders 10-5. And then the team that you would think would still be 1 seed would be the Bills. Nope, they're 9-6. The Broncos would be your 5 seed at 9-6.
Yeah.
Your Broncos, who can't score.
5-game difference.
5-game difference.
But there was the stat that we had a few weeks back that had they scored
18 or whatever, 12, whatever the stupid number was.
18, 16, 19, something like that points per game. They would have been 13-2 at one point.
Yeah.
Crazy. So not so
crazy.
Surprising, but
the surprising part is how bad their quarterback is.
Again, their coach just got fired, and that's how close they are to being 9-6.
Right.
And the other stat is how close they are to being, a team that's right there with the Chiefs as far as overall record.
Absolutely.
So,
Bengals 9-6, Chiefs 9-6, and that rounds out. But the AFC is still tight regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a difference of five wins from the bottom of the Chargers to the top of the Browns. NFC would be 10-1, much greater spread there. It really is just the Vikings of how crazy they would be. But I thought that was interesting.
But I mean, the one that jumps off to me there, the Giants as well, is we just talked about the Giants losing 3 games. They still have 5 other victories of one-score games in which they've won. So that's just right there. That's 8 games that they've had within a score or less, and they're actually 5-3 in those games.
Yeah.
So they're better for it. They've got 8 wins.
They're 3.
So like they'd play a lot of close football games. So
just goes to say, NFL this year has been awesome.
Yeah.
I had to throw this one up here for the old Matty Ice. Okay? Just throwing that up there. Matt Ryan in the 33-36 loss to the Vikings had 1 touchdown, 0 picks, 0 fumbles lost, 3 sacks taken. The media, Matt Ryan blew a 33-point lead. Nick Foles replacing Matt Ryan, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 0 fumbles, 7 sacks taken. Nick Foles is out there battling.
Sure.
Guys, the Colts, not good. Okay, the Colts are bad.
Yeah.
Colts are bad. I don't care about that one. Oh, this one. This one's glorious. All right.
Alan Lazard.
Little Alan Lazard, another Iowa State.
More Iowa State love.
It's his celebration after knocking 3 guys, really 2, to the ground.
No, he got 3. Well, he hit 2, but one of them
fell.
hit another. So
It was great.
block.
Good block.
22 who
And
hits
just that's just great.
effective. So when we're in film, post game, coaches are grading film. For those unfamiliar, just giving a couple of different grades to a play. So one would be execution of, what is your job on this play? The other one would be effort level, those types of things where, okay, you did your job, but did you do your job because the defense didn't really threaten you, or did you really go out and do your job? So Lazard is in charge of basically one person, maybe 1.5 people, you would call it, on this play. So he's in charge of the first threat. And so the fact that he gets a block on what becomes a safety coming downhill, who's not even over the top of him, 22, because most guys would just try to get 28 out of the way because they're in man-to-man coverage, and then 22 would fly through and make this play. But Lazard gets a shoulder on him, so he doesn't have an angle to make the play. 28's out-leveraged, yep. And the 2 big boys running after him get taken out because of what Lazard does to 22.
Yeah.
If Lazard doesn't pick up 22 like he's supposed to inside out, none of the other things happen.
Right.
And so this is like an A++.
Yes.
As far as everything that he did, because I'm not even sure that he would get a negative if he just went and blocked 28 on this play, because he's right over the top. There's very little difference overall.
Yeah.
And the play's coming to the outside. So, I mean, in playing both sides, it's hard to know exactly which one of those is a bigger threat to your running back. So maybe a little bit of it is luck
absolutely.
with him. But
absolutely,
just the wherewithal to – and Lazard is known as one of the best blocking receivers in the NFL, and has been since he was at Iowa State, as one of the things that increased his draft stock to even being draftable was that. So fun to see. And it's a local guy we've seen, played at a local high school here, Urbandale High School. So always fun to see those guys do well.
So I posit in a great spot from a defense's perspective.
Yep.
Okay. The main issue from a gap fitting situation is actually 28. Yeah. Lazard doesn't go to block him.
Yeah, so he's got to slide outside immediately.
He has to get out here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If he gets out there, then he has a decision to go over or under. Right. Now, he already made the decision, I'm going to blow this through, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Because your next guy, linebacker, has to make the correction here The thing is, this shoulder is actually good enough to then it trips up the linebacker.
Right.
He also wanted to take this inside, which I don't know why, because this is wide. The running backs, I can't see him, but he's already here.
He's outside of the lineman already.
He's outside.
Because that lineman is headhunting first available after Lazard chooses whoever he
And
hits.
it really is going to be this guy.
Um,
And he sees him.
who he doesn't even get to because the
Running back's out here.
the cornerback takes such a bad angle that it just doesn't even become relevant.
Which he's not even looking at the running back. There's no way
He's
he's
trying
staring.
not to get pancaked.
He's trying not to die.
Yep.
Right there. That's what he's doing.
100%.
If he just went and filled here,
It's what we like to call
Took
a
his
business decision.
right? If he filled here, he came inside, linebacker goes over the top, linebacker makes a play because running back's going to have to cut back for him unless he just destroys him, which is possible. Has to cut back regardless, which means he's inside, he's over the top.
But this would be even more impressive if the corner did get leverage and therefore the cutback lane was the option.
Like, right?
And then he has to cut back through, like, if 28's out where he's supposed to be and he cuts back through this
here.
lane, that would be 100% created. All three guys would have been a lane created by Lazard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lazard
right.
won the play. This is
Right.
the Lazard play.
So,
Regardless. But
yeah,
this
fun to
also
watch.
comes back to the fact that 28's just not trying to die.
Right.
Like, that's, well, we'll roll it one more time. But 28 should have made, I mean,
big guy. Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Don't
and
look at the big guy.
He is way faster
okay.
than me.
There you go.
And gone. I don't even know he scored.
And Rogers looks over like, what's going on?
Our girl ended the week, always good.
Yeah.
And then this one came up late. It's just it's tough being a Falcons fan.
Well then, it's time.